And hello again, straight back in. Let's press these buttons, right? Because why not, right? We'll get some bonuses. Honestly, these two are a bit kind of useless now. Right, let's see where we are on the water tab. It should be around about the same place. Yep, 2,200. Let's have a look here. I could get some more with this. Should I get some more of that? I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's not a lot, but it's quite a lot. Because that's nearly 1,000 titanium a go now. Can't even remember what planet that was related to, honestly. Might have been Pluto. No, it can't have been. Asteroid belt? Asteroid belt. No, that's the asteroid belt. That's Jupiter. That was Uranus. It's Neptune or Pluto. Probably Pluto, realistically. Where are we? We are at 2 billion. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, and a 2. 1, 2, 3, and a 2. We're getting closer to this, then. I don't know that we'll make it today, like this episode that is, but we're getting there. This is really running out of penalty now. That's nice. I approve. I approve muchly. How is our resistance going? Okay, so if I'm going to do that, so if I'm going to, not this one, this one, if I'm going to click this button, then what I really want to do is make another one of these so that we're not actually missing out on it. Or we could make 2 of these. Ooh. Then we get the bonus and the thing. And in the meantime, we're still trying to get the energy. That's actually not a bad shout. Although we'll need to have 21.3 billion energy, which is quite a lot, in order to not get another speed sacrifice. But we're going fast, right? Let's press this button again, because these 2 are worth it. I'm not sure these 2 are worth it, honestly. But for 2,210 light years, that's worth it. Oh, that's right. I wanted to do this, didn't I? Because we can. Because now, let's have a look. That does 400 light years instantly. Skill 3. And we get 2 extra light years a second just naturally. Like it. So it's a lot of aluminium to waste, though, to be fair. And it's got 40 levels, so guess how much aluminium that's going to use. Guess how much aluminium that's going to use. That's a really bad use of language there, sorry. Does this change? It does not, but it doesn't actually matter. We're now going over 100 light years a second. That's really good. Which means we are getting closer to here. Yeah. That's really good. Should press these some more. Because why wouldn't I? Makes sense to. We nearly get our booster sorted. It's going to be a long time before we get our next thing. And this isn't going to be going up for a while. What happens if I do this? Just out of interest. I mean, it slows us down, right? I get that. Doesn't make much of a difference, so honestly, I'm going to take these back out. Although, having said that, I mean, I'm going to add that one in for the moment. In fact, I'm going to add all of them back in. Because, yes, I'm slowing us down, right? I get that. I get it, and it seems counterintuitive, right? But we actually just don't need it now. We're going so fast. I want to press this button so bad. I'm not going to, because look, we've only just got to the point where we're about to come out of our energy deficit. We need to double our energy requirement. But it's fine, because as soon as we're out of our energy deficit, can I press this? I can. Excellent. Right. I mean, I wasted all of our energy doing that, right? Oh, sorry, all of our silicon. Silicon. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hang on, how much are we using then? That's 1.3 million, and that is 671,000. So that's nearly half of it. But because it's nearly half of it, all of this is bonus. Which is good, right? Because that means we can take advantage of gaining this. So what's our current energy usage? About... Alright, so it's going to take us a while to get to the point where we're double that, realistically. Because we're making 3 million, right? Or 3.5 million. Let's assume it's 3.5 million. Yeah, it's going to take us forever to get to 40 billion at 3.5 million. I wonder if we've got enough tachyons yet. No, I don't believe so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Definitely not. It's a long way to go there. Well, I mean, it's fine. I'm sure I will work out random nonsense to say while I stare at the black hole going, I want to press the button, want to press the button, want to press the button. Because I really want to press the button. I'm not going to press the button because I want to get a prestigium. Because I can get, once we get another well, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter, does it? One prestigium. It's only one prestigium. And I reckon we only need to buy it once, and that's fine. One would assume it's only once. It's hard to know. And when we click this button, I'm guessing we're probably going to be close to the number anyway. And I wonder what we unlock at 150,000 light years. And I wonder how far we have to go out of our out of that. Well, I mean, I do already know we're at 25%. I mean, we're going so fast though, like 25% of the local cluster. Yeah. I'm still not convinced that it was a good move to do this. Right. And then... yeah, it's definitely not worth doing these. That's a mistake. Because they're only pluses, right? They're not times. And even when we get to the point where this adds a +2 to it, it's not worth it. They only go up by 1, right? And going up by 1 is garbage. Although I am going to do this until magnesium gets to a nice number. I'm going to do the same for calcium. Because apparently iron is already there. Conveniently. There we go. Right, that speeds us up some more again. Right. Ooh, I can press the button. It doesn't make any difference, this one. Sadly. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Wait, where's the hydrogen tap? This one. So 120,000, and this requires... was it this one? It was. This now requires 107,000. That's a lot. I mean, we can afford it. It's not a problem. Look, how far ahead are we now? 700 million. So we've now got to the point where we can afford a prestigium in energy costs, which is nice. And we're nearly at the point where we can get some extra energy production from this place, whatever it's called. And my mouse will disappear. You can't see it, it's hiding. Ah, sorry. I'm such a child sometimes, I can't help myself. So we've got a long way to go for this. That's our issue. Wait, no, this one. Let's do that. Wait, hang on. 137,000. Yeah, nice. It's this one that gives us all of our bonuses. I mean, it's not. 400 light years is not bad. Apparently my music has stopped. That's disappointing. Why have you stopped, phone? Why have you decided that there is no music to be listened to in random Japanese stuff? I mean, apparently it's because that song was no longer available. It had been removed from usage by someone. Well, there you go, that's that done. I can press the buttons again. We're nearly at 150,000. 150,000. And I like that, because us being nearly 150,000 means if I press these buttons some more, we can be there in a jiffy. And then we're on the outer edges of our galaxy. 150,000 light years is the outer halo. So we're nearly at the outer halo. Let's see what's happened. Gives us another upgrade in the engineering tab. What is this going to do for us? Level, I don't know. Resistance improves your speed 10 light years per second per level. Skill 4 gains more speed. Interesting. Oh, nice. That's expensive though, right? It's not just me. That is an expensive purchase. I mean, that's expensive, but that's very expensive. Like, really expensive. So how far is 150,000 light years in relation to the edge of the galaxy? 30%. It's quite far, isn't it? So we still need to get to 450,000 light years out, which fortunately this will aid us because I can press buttons. I'm good at button pressing apparently. That's useful. That's very useful. And we're back in the green. I wish you could get, I mean you can. I just press this and it doubles our output. But for the amount of speed we're getting, it's not a lot, right? I mean, it's quite a lot actually now I look at it. Kilometers per second, which means it's 134 million. That is close to the speed of light. It's a third of the speed of light just from our energy, right? But we're travelling at light years per second, which is significantly faster. It's like 26,000 times faster than the speed of light. Or something like that, I don't know. It's way more than that actually. Hang on, 3,600 times 24. Oh, I don't know. I'm not doing the maths on it. I can't be bothered. We are many, many times faster than that. That's sort of dropping the bucket speeds extra, and we don't have the energy to support it at the moment. And I don't want the energy to support it really. Because I don't want to spend 2 billion when I don't need to. Because we need to get to double our optimal energy, which is at the moment 43 billion. Just so I can press the button on the black hole drive for a permanent boost. If I was to do this again, I probably wouldn't boost this lot as much as I did. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, it's good, but I don't think it's really helpful in some respects. But we're at 35% of the galaxy. The outer edges of our expanse. What does this do then now? Not a lot. I mean, it's still quick, right? Still accelerates our aluminium production, and I like that. Aluminium production is important because we need 35 million aluminium. This is very 80s, this song. Yeah, very 80s. I'm not going to complain about it. It's kind of kitsch and kind of funny. Where are we? Nearly at the point where that's useful. I want to press buttons. I want to press the buttons. Well, we could get up to 9%. We could. I'm not pressing the button though because I want to press this. It's like I could press that, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm just going to keep pressing these for the moment. And there's a reason to stay on this page now, because I can just keep pressing this one. Because for 400 light years, instantly, every 15 seconds, like it's a skip drive, right? It says it's the hyperdrive, but I'm going to call it a skip drive. This is our hyperdrive. It's not. I'm pretty sure that's the opposite way around. But I can press this one soon. Because 400, right, it's not as fast as we're going. That's 4 seconds worth. But this, at 2000, right, that's 20 seconds worth. I mean, look at how much faster we're going as a result. We're just travelling so very quickly. We're nearly at 200,000 light years away. And to think, at the beginning of the last episode, I was like, it's going to take us forever to get out there. And it turns out, no, not at all. Our tachyons are still taking forever to arrive. But I wonder how much they're going to... I mean, it's going to go up by a lot when we press this button. It's a massive amount. I don't think it'll get us where I want to be there, sadly. How far are we away from this? This is nearly there. Is it worth saving before I click that button? I mean, I might not get a choice. Yeah. I mean, that's 500 seconds away. That is not 500 seconds away. Well, we'll see when we get there, right? How about that? And this is nearly there. It's this one that we want. And we need this. So let's go for... Let's get to 35 million so I can buy another Prestigium. Because I want to use it. We're going to need 2 Prestigium for that matter. Yeah, 2 Prestigium is the answer. Yeah, so I wonder what's been going on. They found a different type of star with a different type of supernova, a Type 1 supernova instead of a Type 2 supernova, although they're still kind of unconvinced that stars can go micronova, which is like a build-up on the shell that causes a compression within the star, and eventually it goes pop for a little bit. I mean, we've seen evidence all over the universe for it, but they're still hesitant to admit that it could happen to our star, which, given the nature of various cataclysmic events over the history of the Earth, I'm dubious as to their reasoning as to why. I guess it's to try not to panic humanity. But, you know, forewarned is forearmed. Like, the more we know, the more we can plan. But if you're not telling people, then they can't plan for it, you know. Because if people knew, for example, that it might wipe out our entire electric grid, right? Do you think people might start building Faraday cages to stop their electrical equipment from getting haggard, or get their own solar panels and batteries in a cluster of sort of magnetically insulated areas? You know, so for example, you live in a block of flats, you put a Faraday cage in one of the small rooms in one of the buildings, and then you fill it with batteries so that when inevitably something like that happens, it's not a problem. Or do you think they just go, well, we'll deal with it later because it's easier if somebody else deals with the problem than we do? I don't know. I can't tell you. It just typically the way that our system works is that I feel like a mushroom because I'm left inside and fed lots of rubbish, if you know what I mean. Kept in the dark and fed lots of manure. Who knows? Not I, says me. I think as soon as we hit the next solar panel upgrade, we'll hit the water tab and we'll get loads of extra stuff. Because I've realised there's a little bit of a squeeze around this one, right? So once this gets to its thing, right? So in however many seconds, right? Because this is nearly there. But when I then hit this, I'm not hitting it now, I'm going to keep the mouse away from it. We might have plenty of energy. I mean, we won't have as much energy as I'd like, but we might have plenty of energy, which means we can get another multiplier. And I like multipliers. Multipliers is good. But I'm going to keep harvesting as much as we can until we get there. I don't think we need the iron as much as they're saying. And of course, we found another aluminium upgrade here, right? Of course it's aluminium. It couldn't be anything else. It had to be aluminium, didn't it? I thought they'd be like... Because, they're pushing titanium and they're pushing magnesium, calcium and iron here. But here, it's not iron or magnesium or calcium. Why would I care? The only time we needed magnesium and calcium was like in this lot. This one, and this one. No, this was iron, but this is magnesium, this is calcium. I don't remember anything else that needed those. Everything has been mainly it's been aluminium. I'm just glad this one isn't aluminium, if I'm honest. And I'm kind of interested to press this one. But we'd need another prestigium, right, in order to do that. How far are we away now? Ooh, we're close. 550 away. We've already hit target, right? Or nearly hit target, which is nice. But until we hit target, I'll just keep pressing here. So we've got the aluminium. No, we haven't got the aluminium. We've got 10 million to go. It's a long way of aluminium. Yes. Apparently the Pope's been put to rest today, according to the news. I mean, good for him, I suppose. Moving on. What else has been going on at the time of recording? Not a lot. I did some painting. That was a thing. Not artwork painting, like, well, I mean, when I do painting, it's always artwork. No, like, I painted some walls. That was nice. My car had to get fixed. That was a thing. So I took it. The windscreen washer pump went wrong recently. So I took it to the shop, and I couldn't go to my usual shop. I took it to a different shop, and I was like, oh, it's not working. They went, what's wrong with it? I said, I don't know, it's not working. And he went, no, as in, what's the general fault? And I was like, got ya. So, like, the windscreen washer wasn't pumping water. So no water was coming out, and it wasn't making the noise. The pump wasn't making the noise. And I've checked, I couldn't find which fuse controlled the thing, so I brought it to you because I couldn't even check the fuse because the manual isn't online available to tell me which one it is. And I looked all over the place, but it wouldn't tell me. He was like, right, okay, no problem. So they changed the fuse. It wasn't that fuse. And then the guy who worked there was like, hang on, changed a different fuse. Suddenly it started working again. He goes, it's a common thing where sometimes this one, when it goes, has a problem with that circuit board. I was like, great. Roll on 2 months. So that was February. It's now April, right? End of April, but April. It breaks again. The pump starts making this weird, funny noise. I'm like, So I go roll up into my regular joint for getting car repairs. I'm like, it's broken. And the guy goes, what's wrong with it? I said, I don't know, it's broken. He went, no, general fault. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, forgot about it. Windscreen washer isn't pumping, it's making funny noise in the pump. And he went, oh, okay, what car you got? So I told him. He was like, oh, it's a common problem for that car. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm walking away, I'm thinking like 450 quid worth of parts and labour and whatnot. And he fit me in like 3 days. Normally it takes a little bit longer because there's a shortage of car mechanics in England. So if you're looking for a job and you're really good with cars, like engines and whatnot, come to England, be a car mechanic. We need good quality car mechanics because, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard graft because it's cold in winter. I suppose if you're in America, for example, it's cold in America as well. But, you know, you get free healthcare. And that's not because you're working as a car mechanic in England, it's because it's England. If you're working in England, you get free healthcare because we have the NHS. Anyway, and interestingly, like all the doctors who work private were trained by the NHS, and most of them still have to do NHS work anyway. So, you know, if you're going to say that private's better, like, is it though? Because they're the same blooming doctors who treat you. I can tell you. Anyway, like, it's just, wait, we're still not there. Come on, game, hurry up. I'm going to get to 35 million before you're going to get to the next tick up. That's not the plan. I mean, it's a little bit the plan. But anyway, like, the point is, I go in, drop it off at like 8:30 this morning. I get a phone call at about 11:30. The car's done. I'm like, really? I was expecting it later in the day. It's like, no. So I wandered down, go in and collect it. Because it's only, like, I don't know, half a mile from my house. My mechanic is really handy. So I walked down there on a beautiful springtime day, like 25 degrees outside. Wonderful. And turn up, 65 quid. What's that? That's like $80, $75, $80. Fix the car. Turns out it was some tubing that had gone wrong, needed to be replaced, and this, that, and the other. Like, all done. So that was good. Saved me a real load of hassle, like 400 quid's worth of hassle, which is like $500, right? It's a lot of money. I mean, actually, it's not actually that much money, realistically. It's quite a lot of money, but for fixing a car, that's actually pretty good, right? Now, wait for it. Ding! 27 billion. So that's quite a lot further up, right? Which means I can do this. Ding! Which is nice, which means I can do this one or this one. I can't do this one yet. Grrr, game! What are you doing? I mean, alright, that's fine. I'll just keep pressing this button. I'm not salty about it, you are. So yeah, like, that was really good. Like 400 quid's worth of savings on my expectation. Because I was expecting the whole pump to have to be stripped out, got a new one refitted and put back in. And the pumps are like 150 pounds. So, you know, like, what was it, $225? Like, that would have been annoying, plus labour, right? But it turns out it took him barely any time. And the thing is, had I had a ramp, I could probably do it myself, right? Because I know what I'm looking for. Like, the mechanical stuff's really reasonably easy. It's like, it's a pump, right? I know where the pump's located. I can just unscrew it, but you have to get it from underneath, and I don't have a ramp to put it on to be able to get underneath it, and I'm not putting it up on 4 jacks. That is a recipe for death, right? It's just not safe. So I would, and ironically, right, so when I had the fuse repaired, it was 40 quid to get the fuse repaired, which I could have done myself if I'd have known which fuse to go for, but like I said, it wasn't even the fuse that it told me it should be, right? And the guy in the shop even said, like, oh yeah, we checked the fuse it's supposed to be, it wasn't that one, but one of my boys had an idea of just, oh, why don't we try that fuse instead? And we did, and it worked, right? So no amount of checking the fuse is going to help, so that would have been 40 quid. Plus 65 quid to replace the pipes and stuff. Had I bought the ramps, they are 80 quid, I think. So there or thereabouts anyway. So, you know, it's 90 odd bucks, 95 bucks, I guess. But yeah, anyway, like, had I bought that and done it myself, it would still been about the same price. So, not counting parts, obviously. So it's just easier to get a man to do it, honestly. Although I expect that it shouldn't be a problem for... And I mean, the joke is I get my car MOT'd and serviced every year. Because to me it makes sense to do so. However, apparently... No. Right, we are at 200 and... Is that 293? Or 233? It looks like we're at nearly 300 light years, 300,000 light years, I should say, away from galactic position, or our position in the galaxy, which is a long way. ET will not phone home. Call charges will be too expensive under roaming contract fees. Sorry, that's probably a very bad joke. I mean, when I say probably, it is a bad joke. I appreciate that. But also, it made me slightly chuckle. Right, we're nearly there. We've nearly got our 6,000 titanium. There you go. Right, where are you? Doink. I don't need to do that again, apparently, which I'm glad, because that's very expensive. I don't want to press that button again. Yeesh. Oof. I just wish it'd include aluminium. I've just got a feeling I probably need these to be upgraded faster later. Now, hang on. Where there was this one. Yeah, there you go. Just spend that there, and then we'll press this button, and we'll go... 2,610. I mean, can't complain about that, right? 2,610. I mean, given the cooldown, it's actually not great. But this is going to speed up. Now, I want to press this one. Exploit fabric of reality. I mean, I think we're doing that already at 142 and a third light years per second. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. This number is not going up quickly enough for my tastes. But this is slowly getting there. By the end of the session, we shall see an increase in where we're wanting to be. I want that to go up to 40. I like it a lot. So we need another prestigium. Well, we're not. We need an unknown number of prestigium. The energy isn't the issue. It's the prestigium that's the issue. Because, or actually 1.4 billion. Because 800 million plus 600 million is 1.4 billion, right? It's a lot of energy. Considering we're trying to save up to dump some in. Excuse me, sir. To dump some into our black hole abuse button. Where are we now? Nowhere near. So as soon as this hits the thing, I mean, honestly, there's nothing much I can do about it. I just have to wait. I can press this button. Huzzah! We've gone up by 1 per second. I feel slightly aggrieved by just how slow it is. Right, this one. This is still 107,000, so that's fine. Our heat resistance doesn't matter at the moment. Well, we're not far off, right? That might hit by the end of the session today. Well, say end of the session, the end of the episode. I keep clicking here and here, but they're completely useless to us. This, ooh, look at how much extra speed it's generating, because I can't switch to the thing. Disappointment. Nope, that wasn't what I meant to do. I didn't know I could do that. Well, whatever. So we're at 2/3 of the way outside of our galaxy at the moment. That's quite far. Ah, this is nice. get to press these buttons and they'd be meaningful in some respect. I say in some respect because they're not actually that meaningful, are they? 400 light years every 15 seconds. I mean, we go further than that in 3 seconds. So it's a marginal boost, I'll grant you. And I'm sure that when this gets to maximum, this is going to be huge. Even if we were to upgrade or get the aluminium, we still can't upgrade it yet. This is the next step. And I hope that's just a static cost. Because if that's not a static cost, I'm going to QQ until my face is green. I'm really not. And plus, as much as I appreciate Yoda and his species, and Greedo and his species, I would rather not look like them. Although, Hera Syndulla is also green, and she looks awesome. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I would like to be green. I mean, I was green once. True story, actually. So I had a burst appendix for like 3.5 weeks without knowing. So yeah, that was a thing. It went pop, and yeah, I got septicemia, and I went into toxic shock after what? So it was 26 days in. I went into toxic shock, and I just thought I had really bad constipation because I'm a bit of a doofus. And it took a bunch of people I knew and my family to go, no, you need to go and see a doctor. So I went and saw a doctor, and they were like, you need to go to hospital. I was like, okay, should I I'll drive my car home and then I'll get somebody to give me a lift in. And she went, no, where do you live? And I went, what? Well, you're obviously going to want to put your car away, but we're going to call you an ambulance. And I went, but my name's Chrissy. And she went, why are you making jokes? This is serious. And I went, yes, but my name is still Chrissy. And she was like, you're impossible, aren't you? And I was like, no. So anyway, they blue lit me to the local hospital, and I went into A&E, and they're like, we've got a patient here, and they left me in a corridor for 12 hours, because sometimes that's how Britain do. So yeah, that was a thing. I'm just sitting here staring at that. That's not going to help us very much. We're a long way away from that. I can't remember how much titanium we needed. 15,000. That might be a while before we can afford one of these. Now I look at it. So it's probably just saving up for these, right? For the time being, and then you spend one to get a break in the fabric of reality. Yeah, so anyway, after about 12 hours, and I'm in a reasonable amount of pain, right? I was swearing a bit, and I was undignified with my volume, shall we say. And the doctor came up and went, look, can you keep it down? It's not like you're dying or anything. And I'm like, how do you know? You haven't even scanned me yet. And he went, well, you're able to speak to me properly. I was like, you can F off, pal. And he went, I won't tolerate abuse. I went, well, I don't really appreciate dying. He went, well, you're not dying. I was like, well, we'll see about that. I mean, how many people are green? And he went, I mean, that is a valid question. Anyway, they decided it'd be better to send me to London. So they then blue lit me to London after about 16 hours of in a bed in a corridor. I get to London, and the woman takes one look at me and goes, we need to operate on you immediately. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, so what we're going to do is this, and this. So a couple of keyhole surgeries. If it's bad, we'll have to open you up like you got a sunroof. And I'm like, that's cool, I don't mind. She was like, really? And I was like, really? And she goes, well, I mean, the odds of you surviving this are pretty small. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, there's a 1 in 20 chance you survive this. And I went, those are really good odds. And she sort of looked at me and went, what? And I went, well, think about it, right? If you do something, there's a 5% chance of me living. If you do nothing, there's a 0% chance of me living. Those are really good odds. And she sort of looked at me and went, I see what you're getting at. I like your style. And I was like, I mean, I can't help it. Just let me take my trousers off instead of you cutting them open. Which is probably the wrong thing to say to her. So anyway, they put a cannula in me, and the guy said, right, count backwards from 10. So I was like, okay, well, I know what to do. I'll concentrate on the numbers while you concentrate on me going number. And the anaesthetist started laughing, and I passed out. I woke up about 7 or 8 hours later. No, hang on. That's not true. I woke up much later than that. So I came out of an anaesthetic after the 6.5 hour surgery. I woke up in a ward, I think, a week later. It's kind of hazy. I just remember waking up in a ward going, where am I and why I've got a tube down my throat? Can I have a sandwich, please? Apparently, every time I have surgery, I get hungry afterwards, like real hungry. I demand sandwiches, and I demand them immediately. So I remember one time I had this other form of surgery, and before going in, it was elective. So the guy was like, anything we should know? I says, yes. And he went, what's that? I says, when I come out of surgery, I'm going to be hungry. And he went, what? And I went, sandwiches. I demand sandwiches for as soon as I come out of surgery. He was like, that's a weirdly specific thing to say. I said, you know how some people don't want things? They feel sick and everything? He was like, yeah. I says, for me, it's the opposite. I come out of surgery and I want sandwiches, jelly, and a cigarette. And he went, you're not supposed to be smoking. I says, I know. He went, you said you'd stopped. I said, I have. And he goes, well, then why do you want a cigarette? I says, because I always want a cigarette when I come out of surgery. He's like, of all the blooming things, I'm like, I know. A cigarette, some sandwiches. And he's like, but you haven't smoked for like 3 months. I was like, I know. He was like, could you not just stop? I was like, no, it's not how it works. He goes, what do you mean it's not how it works? I says, my body has told me it wants a cigarette. Honestly, my body is wanting a cigarette even now. He was like, but you've not smoked for 3 months. I was like, I know. He went, well, why don't you just not smoke? I went, why don't you just not smoke? He went, that's not an answer. I went, no, it's not an answer you want. And that was the end of it. He just left me to it. And when I woke up after that elective surgery, sadly there were no cigarettes, but there was sandwiches and there was jelly. I was quite surprised. Little note from the nurse. Apparently you requested these. I hope strawberry jelly is fine. We couldn't have cheese and cucumber sandwiches, but we did have cheese and ham and cheese and tomatoes, so you got one of each. I was like, actually, that's amazing. So when the nurse came in, I said, love it. I mean, I'm surprised you don't have cucumber, but, you know, I'm not going to argue. You gave me one of each. And I ate all of them. She was amazed. She was like it's very unusual, apparently, to have a voracious appetite after surgery. I don't know why I'm telling you that story. I just thought you might find it interesting. Because normally, if you have surgery, I've been told the last thing you want to do is eat. I mean, I would have thought the last thing you want to do is go in for more surgery. But, you know, I'm just different, I suppose. Let's see how far we are through. We are 88% of the way out of our galaxy. It's a long way out of the galaxy, if I'm honest. That's good. We can press the buttons. I like pressing these buttons. 3.5 million. It's so small. How's our energy doing in comparison? We are 7 billion ahead. It's nice. It is nice. We are almost nowhere on this. We need that to get to 500. I can't remember what it does. So it reduces the black hole water upgrade, reduces the black hole cooldown. Wait, gain 10 minutes worth of resources? I don't understand. Oh, the gain, that should say the gain 10 minutes worth of water resources, or worth of resources, water upgrade, also reduces the black hole cooldown. That's actually not great. I don't care about that. The amount of energy we need to generate is prohibitively expensive. And it will come down as these go up and we get more, wherever it is, of this, silicon, but we need 6.5 billion silicon. I don't think you've thought it through there, Jeff. I don't know why I call him Jeff. Them Jeff. Whoever it is, Jeff. So we're nowhere near that. That's 286,000, whatever. We're quite close to that in some respects. Because we just need more aluminium. So we get, that's, what's that, 8,000 every second? It's got to be something like that. Because we get it from this page, right? We're getting 2,510 3 times a second. No, we're not. I was looking at iron. So we're probably getting more like, I don't know, 6,000 a second for iron. Yeah, I pronounce the R. So I lived next door to Irish people from Belfast for a number of years. And round the corner was so the people who lived next door to me were Protestant from Belfast. The people around the corner were Catholic from Belfast, but because they were both Irish in England, they got along like a house on fire because there were very few Irish people in England at the time. But I spent a lot of time with them, and yeah, lovely people. Me and them got along pretty well. What was it? It was Tom and Greg. And Greg's dad was a member of the IRA, and Tom's dad was definitely not, because he was Protestant. But it was fine. Apparently it wasn't an issue, although there were issues with me and the IRA, but that came a bit later. But that doesn't really matter. Right? It's just the nature of what happened when you were growing up in the 80s. Yeah, the IRA, they were a fun sort. They used to try and blow up places, but quite often what they would do, in England that is, they would ring up the police and go, "Oh, we've planted a bomb, sure. The code word is," and then they'd give you a code word so you knew it was them, right? Because a more dignified bomber. And unlike the Islamic terrorists who just blow themselves up, the IRA, they would warn you first, and then they would leave so they could bomb again another day. I mean, some might suggest that one of them was better at their job than the other one, because everybody was terrified of the IRA, right? Because you never knew who it was. They looked just like us, because Britain wasn't exactly multicultural back then, so it could be anyone until they open their mouth and speak. And the thing is a lot of Irish people can do very, very good British accents, right? You know, they can make them sound themselves just like me. I mean, not just like me, but similar enough to me that, much like I can sound similar enough to them, right? Whereas, like, fundamentalist religious types from different cultures, they don't look like the British folk. They're pretty easy to spot. Just look for a guy who doesn't have a beard and does have a backpack. Generally, they're probably going to blow themselves up, right? Now, I know, dark subject, but also didn't get the memo. Rule 1 of bomb making, don't blow yourself up. I mean, you could just leave the backpack and walk away. Not that I'm trying to give them tips, but, you know, think about it, son. Yeah, they might disrupt your plan to blow up the thing, but flip side, get to make another one for later. They don't think it through, these guys nowadays. It's all about immediate gratification, isn't it? It's got to be. Sorry, that went very darkly comic all at once, and I didn't mean it to be. I apologise. This is the problem, right? You let me record for a couple of hours where I have nothing to really talk about apart from what's in my head, because the game is just what the game is, and this is what you end up getting, and it's gonna, like, I mean, I have to stop recording, I think, soon, because otherwise it's gonna get absurdly dark absurdly quickly, because I'm already making jokes about terrorism. But I mean, if you don't take the mick out of it, what are you supposed to do? I mean, that's what we used to do. Like, what's the expression? Jenkins got crushed by an elephant. There wasn't much left but goo. It's all right. We'll put him up in the officer's mess. Do you know what I mean, right? Some of you will really understand that joke, and some of you won't, and that's fine. Ask your army buddies; they'll know what I'm saying. It's just, you know, the darker your jokes are, the easier it is to handle it. But also, you can get past a lot of the fear that would be induced by these stupid people doing stupid things. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a stupid person who does stupid things, but I'm not the sort of person who would go out randomly and afflict horror on people who didn't ought to have it coming, right? You know, like there was a guy who got a narwhal tusk and went across London Bridge trying to kill people with it. Like, what sort of... kudos for improvisation, right? Well done him, narwhal tusk boy. But also, narwhal tusk. Really? Could you not think of something better? I know knives are pretty hard to get in England, and I know that guns are very tightly controlled in certain ways in England, but the black market is easy, right? I know plenty. If I wanted to get weaponry, I can just ask a mate, right? And I can't be the only one in the entire country who knows a guy, right? Not that I'm going to. Trust me, I've had plenty of opportunities. I don't care, right? I've used enough firearms. I'm not enamoured with them in that way. I mean, don't get me wrong, having them at home would be great. But I know me, right? They would be well looked after and in a box, distributed in several different places around my home, just in the off chance somebody decided to, you know, break in or something. Other than that, I can't use it. I can't take it anywhere. The restrictions are so tight, right? We're not blessed like America is, where you can own guns at home. You could even set up your own firing range if you had the space at home, right? And we don't have the space like America does, mainly because about 5% of all of the Britons own about 60% of the country. We're only a small country, right? Like, I think, what was it, seven of England, or it might be 7 of the UK, I think it's 7 of England, can fit in Texas. And we've got more population than Texas. Quite a significant amount more population than Texas. I've been to Texas, it's wonderful. But I tell you, I'd love to have the space that the Texans have, because then I could have, like, a shooting range in my backyard. At the moment, I'm allowed to have a bow and arrow, right? And even then, there are restrictions, because, you know, Britain, do you have a license for that bow and arrow? And bear in mind, the license for the bow and arrow is to do with hunting purposes and stuff, and you're not really allowed to go hunting anyway. It's quite strange, I'll be honest. I don't fully understand it, no. I need to keep 2,000 of this, don't I? I do. Wait, we might have left the solar system. We have left the place. Wait, what's this? Wait, no, I can't be there. Wait, hang on. We are here. Wait, aren't we? At 46 and a half billion light years. That's the next place. What's this? At 500,000 light years, we've got a new prestigium bonus. Is that here? It is. Wait, what? Gain a multiplier to energy? No. That's what we want to look at. This one. Passively gain 1 prestigium every hour. Speed multiplier shown above, divided by this, divides this time by its bonus. So every half an hour. Just under half an hour. That's awesome. That means we don't have to worry about gaining prestigium so much, which is nice. And the more we save up, the better in that case, because we can bring that multiplier down. which means we're going to get more prestigium more quickly. Sneaksy weasels. I see how you've done it, game. So hang on, wait, let's go back here. We are there, apparently. So that's roughly it. So 500,000 light years compared to 46.5 billion light years. I mean, to be fair though, like, yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. We're not going very fast by comparison to where we need to get to, but it's going to be what, 1 or 2 episodes at this rate, I would imagine. It can't be that much further, only because not that one, this one. Yeah, so at the end of this episode will be there. We're nearly at this point, so we get +2 to our bonuses. Like, we might not even max this bit out. I mean, I could be wrong, it might be a couple of episodes. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Well, was it a mistake? Because now we generate prestigium passively. And I want to get this number up high as a result. And we're gaining this pretty quickly. So I might spend it on this stuff. That makes sense to me, anyway. Because now we're at 9% chance of getting stuff, which honestly is good. I could press that button. I can't press that button. Fortunately, oh, I know me, I would have pressed that button. I'd be like, yeah, let's press the button. I can press that button and it'll be fine. But yeah, right, look at that. So yeah, I mean, the restrictions around weaponry is quite tight in Britain, yeah. And they keep banning ninja weapons because they think that banning ninja weapons will stop violence. Like, oh, well, it'll be harder to do violence if there are no ninja weapons. And as somebody pointed out on the line, yes, that's why I was stuttering, because I was like, on the line, that's not right. Yeah, so as somebody pointed out online, it just looks like they're racist, because all they're doing is banning ninja weapons, right? They're not banning Viking weapons, they're not banning medieval European weapons, they're not banning Roman weapons, ninja weapons. You can't have ninja swords, you can't have shuriken, you can't have throwing knives of, like, ninja variety, right? I can go out and buy a combat knife. I'm not supposed to be able to buy out and go out and buy a combat knife, but you can buy them if you've got a legitimate reason to have them. Now, combat knives are a little bit more tricky to explain away, but fortunately, depending on background, you can get away with having various things that you shouldn't ought to have as a regular person, right? So, you know, like, I've trained in swords since I was 14 years old, I think. Yeah, so it's over 30 years I've trained with swords. Like, I am both a martial artist instructor, as well as a collector. And as a result, because I qualify, if you are one of those things, you have a legitimate reason to own swords, right? I am all 3 of those things, and I'm not just trained in swords. So I'm lucky because I get to have a multitude of interesting stuff. But all the ninja weapons, completely banned, doesn't matter. I'm not allowed to train with them even. It's like, but that's part of a traditional cultural thing. And yeah, I'm not part of that culture, but it shouldn't matter if I'm training in their art form. But no, British government are like, nah, ninjas though, they're really dangerous. They come out at night and do the murders. It's like, I mean, yeah, in the Edo period, it was less so nowadays. But, you know, British people allow our politicians to do things that honestly I think involve a little bit of a lack of brain power. Our politicians are a bit authoritarian is the only way I can phrase it. I don't trust them. I don't trust them as far as you could throw them. And I'm assuming, as you're listening to this, that you are in bed ready for a nap and don't really want to get up and throw anybody. I think that's a fair statement, and therefore, because you don't want to get up and throw anybody, it's a fair statement that you're not going to be able to throw them very far. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would be grateful to hear that. Like, were you in fine fighting fittle and you were up and about and you had your gloves on? Maybe you can throw them quite far, but right this second, I doubt you're in that position, and therefore I think you couldn't throw them very far. I mean, now I've been talking about it for a minute and a half, that might have changed, and you might be actually in a position where you can put them in a catapult and yeet them. And if you are, contact me with your name and address on a postcard, and I will send you a catapult and a politician to yeet them. Just send it to the usual address of I don't live here at nowhere, and I'm sure it will get to me. So yeah, and on the note of yeeting politicians via catapult, and we all know trebuchets would be better, but they're harder to get your hands on. They're just harder to get your hands on. I'm going to leave you to it. Have a lovely day. Bye.